Next up is Train Dreams from Netflix. It had a super limited run. Hour and 42 minutes long. Robert lives all of his years in the forests of the Pacific Northwest, working on the land, helping to create a new world at the turn of the 20th century. Covers like 40, 50 years. Ends in, I think, like the late 60s.
Yeah.
Post World War I. Clint Bentley, the director, did the movie Jockey, also co-wrote Sing Sing last year. A very good movie that A24, I think they forgot about when it came time to promote things for award season, based on a 2011 novella. Has Joel Edgerton, Felicity Jones, Carrie Condon, William H. Macy, Will Patton, the narrator. No real box office here that was in theaters for a limited time. I actually oddly heard Netflix told critics to see this in theaters. It's kind of like a good chuckle for me. It's like, okay, well, why don't you fucking put it in theaters then for everybody to see for a longer period of time? I didn't get to see this in theaters, and it was one of my biggest bummers of the year that I had to watch this. I mean, I have a nice TV. Netflix streams well here, but I would have loved to have seen this on a big screen. 90% split around Tomatoes. Actually, pretty surprised by that 90 audience split around Tomatoes. Because I thought this would be something that maybe doesn't play great with audiences, but I think it's also like a pretty like deep, relatable story. I think there's like a lot that you can take away here. Very human and raw. 7.5 IMDb, 88 Metacritic, 4.1 Letterboxd. One of my favorites of the year. I'll go first. 92 out of 100. I love this movie. It sat with me, and I've liked it more and more. I saw it a while ago at this point now. There's just something here. It's this just story about just fucking working hard to make a living and to find a way through life, and in the face of tragedy and loss, and just kind of doing what you got to do, and then eventually finding a way as best you can to bring it all together, and to kind of put a bow on life. It's a very deep, like poetic. Every year there's a bucket of movies that I'll use the word visceral on. This is definitely right at the top of the bucket. This is quite the. This is fucking art, man. It's one of those types of movies that feels that way, and I think it's just a beautiful movie. Yeah, even in the face of some things that are very negative for the character, just this movie has a lot to say, and doesn't always say it with just words. Like, just looks great on screen. I love this movie, and I'll tell you what. I know Frankenstein's the bell cow for Netflix, but man, big whiff on their part not pushing this harder, because I know they've pushed it for sure, and they told critics to see it in theaters, so I'll give them credit for that. But I wish this was pushed as hard as they push Frankenstein. And I get why Frankenstein would be pushed harder. It's fucking Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro, that's why. Yes.
Lordy, you have all these big names in it, but this is gonna get. This is not lock, but it's like close to lock for Best Picture nomination, and that's without a like fucking cranking the wheel push from Netflix. So imagine if they had done that. Imagine if this was pushed as hard as they pushed Frankenstein. It looked like it was like maybe going to get one. Now it's like the groundswell for this movie continues to grow. I'm not going to win it, but like good to see, because people have found it. They've liked it. It's not, some eat it up slop for, an hour and a half. It's not some like overly easily digestible thing. Critics like it, audiences like it. So cool to see, because I do think it's one of the year's best movies. It's a top 10 for me. And we talked about it a little bit last week when we did our top 20 of the year. But yeah, 92 out of 100 for me. I really love Train Dreams. Like I'd suggest checking this one out big time.
And people have been. This has been one of the, like you said, Jeff, I am shocked at how many people have gravitated towards this movie in particular, which, I mean, Joel Edgerton has a fan base. Felicity Jones has a fan base. Carrie Condon. But this really isn't like a movie that you would think that people would latch onto the way they have. It's so sad. It's such a sad movie for the amount of fanfare it's gotten.
I think a lot of it too, though, is which I think when you think about it, and you can give your score next, but like it's just like it's a story of just a hard working fucking guy.
It's such a human story.
Right. It's like it's so maybe not relatable in the fact that, the four of us aren't sawing logs, but
speak for yourself.
But like there is an element to that. Like that you can either, even if you don't relate to, you can appreciate and be like, damn, that's amazing. Like everyone likes a good hardworking, like, even success is not the right word for this, but like you know what I'm saying, like a hardworking story like that, which we don't get a ton of nowadays in movies like this. Which is also, I can't believe I don't relate these two movies. It's also kind of like people like Sung Blue too, right? Like I heard kind of the same comment that people were like, it's a classic story of people facing adversity and trying to make it work and trying to be successful. And you know what? I know, like, as corny as that sounds, that kind of works. But this is like,
corny. Why is that corny? It's a thing that
yeah.
humans face. Like, there's nothing corny about that. It's okay to like tap into the human element.
Absolutely.
Those are good things. Those are good qualities. Like, it's like schmaltz isn't a bad thing. And I'm not saying this is schmaltzy train drinking. Certainly not. But like, I don't know, hitting the heartstrings isn't. We don't always have to hit the brain. Sometimes it's okay to hit the heartstrings.
Well said. I do think I'm lower on this than most people, but I'm still at an 80. I think coming out, I was at a 70. The one big detraction for me, and it's one of those things where you watch this movie and you're just kind of blown away by the technical mastery across the board. Like you said, Jeff, gorgeous movie. Like a movie that you can pause at any given moment and you can frame that shot. Like it is breathtaking. And I'm really sad that they didn't do a bigger rollout release-wise. When it was here in New York, they played it at IFC, and it was almost impossible to get a seat in those theaters. So yeah, gorgeous movie and well acted. Joel Edgerton, always reliable, and he really gets to shine here. He doesn't always get these kind of lead roles, and this is really, I mean, just him almost. Like I saw someone kind of compare it to Forrest Gump, where it's like this guy and the world changing around him for 40 years. And so this is a big, big, big performance. The narration is what really kind of lost me, and it wasn't a turnoff off the bat, but 30 minutes in is where I started to, and this, maybe it's because I'm on my couch when I'm watching this instead of in a theater, but the narration did wear me down. I had time to recollect or, sit and think about the movie and what I liked about it and what it was saying, and the boldness of being that melancholic, I think, for this kind of release really got to me. And getting to think about, the back half of the movie, especially, and how somber it was, the moments with Carrie Condon. It does carry it quite a bit further for me and makes me at least get over my aversion to that narration. So 80 out of 100 for me. Really great stuff.
For those who are movie novices, by the way, and maybe may not know Will Patton by name,
you know him by face.
You know him by face. He's the defensive coordinator, and should be the head coach, some might say, and remember the Titans. So just for those who may not know my name. Anyway.
I give it a 90 out of 100. And I think that this movie appeals to a fairly narrow window of taste. Like, I think if you enjoy directors like Terrence Malick or Tarkovsky, like, this is going to be extremely your shit. But if you go and you ask 100 people on the street, who are these two directors, 0 of them will know. Like, so I think that in like a world, because like we're kind of in like this art versus entertainment discussion constantly in like the film Twitter world, where you see people like taking dumps over Sean Levy for making entertainment, and people being like, "Well, this is art, this is entertainment." Like, this is art. This is absolutely, unquestionably, like, this is an art movie, no question. It is beautiful to look at. The score is incredible, and I think the actors are also asked to do a lot without speaking, and they succeed at it. Like Edgerton, like, he barely says a damn word in this movie, and he says so much with his face. Like, it's crazy. And then you have a guy like William H. Macy come in, and for like just a few lines, really, like 10, 15 minutes of screen time, and just bam, knock it out of the park. It's crazy. I loved it. It's one of my favorite endings in recent memory, like one that really, really stuck with me to the point where I went back and, like, I think I mentioned this in a couple episodes ago. Like, I went and just rewatched the ending alone for a couple times, and in addition to just rewatching the entire movie. But it's also a movie where I don't feel safe recommending this to almost anybody. Like, I would have to know very specific details about their taste in movies before I would safely recommend it to them. But still, for my personal taste, my palate, I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. Great to look at, great to listen to. Liked the sort of, like, I think that the Forrest Gump thing is kind of an interesting parallel. And I actually like the narration because I like Will Patton's voice. I like hearing him talk to me in that smooth little dulcet tone or whatever you would call it. So I enjoyed this quite a bit. Just don't know how safe I'd feel recommending it to people.
I think this is one of the greatest movies of the year. I have 6 great movies this year. This is one of the 6. I have this as a 91 out of 100. This is the most beautiful movie of the year. It's fantastic. I will say, if you're in New York City, it's playing at the Paris Theater Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week. So if you have a chance to go see, I think it's a 35 millimeter too. Where I saw it, it was fantastic. It's beautiful. I really disagree with you, Kenjac, about recommending this movie. I would recommend this movie to anybody. I think it's a story about humanity and just about trying to find. The first half's about trying to find happiness, and the second half's about trying to find peace. And I think those are things that people can relate to, especially. Life can shift. Now, it shifts dramatically for this character, but life can shift, and you might need to shift kind of what you're looking for or what purpose your life has. And I think that's pretty relatable to everybody, where like things happen in your life. Like, all right, what am I doing here? Why am I here? What is happening? How can I go on, or how can I make light of the next rest of my life? And this character, they say at the outset, lives a long time. So like, how does this guy get to move on? And then also, just like Jeff was saying with the work stuff, like, his industry changes, the world changes, the people around him change. How do you change as you get older? Like, people are different now that I work with than I worked with 20 years ago, and I'm sure 20 years from now it'll be different. And that's super relatable too. It's a movie about aging to some extent, or about the world aging or progressing around you. There's so much to take away from this movie. It's such a beautiful movie. I really, really, really love this, and I didn't know what to expect going in. It's the movie I cried the most at this year.
Yeah, it's got a really great ending, because we're spoiling it now, but nothing goes right for this guy's life, nothing at all. Very hard worker, has some incredibly large jobs in terms of the expansion of the United States further west, and just the face of tragedy, which all haunts him, whether it's someone getting killed intentionally or someone dying accidentally, the loss of family and not even knowing if he really lost them or not. And like how he lost them, like, are they really gone? And like, will they show back up? And it ends with him in this plane. And the ending of this movie, he just like, it all kind of, the narrator talks about, like, it all kind of comes together from a little bit. I'm not saying like money's and raining down as the plane is doing flips in the air, but like, point is, like, he's able to at least come to a peace and connect with like the moments in his life and like what he's done and what he's at least achieved, and whether even if he's not achieved some things, he's worked hard at that. And I think it's just this beautiful ending where you're like, it's not perfect for him by any means, it's not even close, but like, there's just something there, just like, I don't know, there's this tranquility and peace that he comes through, that it's like, wow. It's just a really good ending. Just I that was the part for me. Like, I liked all of it, but they really tied it together. And again, it's like I actually don't, to kind of branch what you were saying, Klemmer, about Kenjac. I don't disagree with what Kenjac said in terms of not, but like now I would. Like, when I first saw it, I would have absolutely said that. But now it's like, I'm seeing, it's like people like it. And again, it's I hate to use this as a way to shit on their other movie, because I enjoyed some of Frankenstein, but a lot of it I didn't like. And like, it's like this. Some of it's like too much, and like, I get what they're going for and trying to appeal to like people, and I know it's a passion project for Guillermo del Toro, but like, this says a lot of like, in terms, they were pushing that one, but this is the one that clearly more people are connecting with. I know we don't want to put too much stock, and Gooch, you said a few weeks ago, and you were right, I don't want to put too much stock in the Rotten Tomatoes of things, but like, I'm going to take a stab at saying Train Dreams probably wasn't review bombed, so it's a pretty fairly like Train Dreams is probably a pretty like accurate depiction, and it's also pretty high everywhere else too. So it's like, I'm glad people are connecting with this, and it's like a good reminder of like, if you make something that can be relatable or can be understood, and you can connect with an emotional level, you don't. It can be something as, again, we use the word poetic with this, as a visual spectacle that's saying a lot and has deep meaning. It says a lot without needing to say a ton of shit either, right? And like, it's just a good reminder, hopefully. Like, I hope Netflix sees this and is like, okay, maybe more of this.
I hope all movie studios see this and go, it's not that hard. It tells the story of an early 20th century logger. Just tell someone's life. We don't need to have the world blow up. We don't need to have crazy CGI. We don't need it's just simply a nice story about one person and their life. It can literally be that easy.
I do think, to a degree, part of that too is, for the Netflix angle of it, is that the algorithm told them IP. So like, Frankenstein is the thing they need to push, and versus the quality or more quality product in Train Dreams, which I would agree with.
It's great that like again, there's still a chance it doesn't get nominated, though it is looking more and more likely. It's kind of great that this like would get nominated, and they've definitely pushed it. Again, I don't want to say they haven't pushed it, because they have pushed it, but like not to the extent that Frankenstein's been pushed. And it's like kind of cool that this just is gonna get. This is like, hey, we'll fucking do it ourselves here. You know, the movie.
Have you guys seen Jockey?
No.
Seen what?
I've seen Jockey.
Have you guys seen Jockey?
Mhm.
No.
It's really good. Like, it's not as good as this. It's really good. It just tells the story of a jockey he has alcohol issues, other issues, and it's just really effective. This guy is really talented. I can't wait to see what Bentley does next. He's rising up my list of like guys I'm most excited about their future. He's really great. This movie is so beautifully directed and so wonderfully shot. I don't know. I walked away super impressed.
Jockey has, I have to do it. It's got a House of Cards character. I got to reference it. It's the character that plays Jackie Sharp. The ex. She's in the military, and then she becomes the whip. She dates Remy Dan in House of Cards. She's in Jockey.
Klemmer, did you see Sing Sing last year?
I did not. I got to see that.
Oh,
Yes, because
Sing Sing was great.
It's a duo technically between Bentley and his, I guess, co-creator is what you would call it, Greg Quedar, which they just take turns directing. So, first one,
Oh, that's very cool.
Bentley did Jockey. Quedar last year, Bentley was the co-writer, and he got directing credits on that one. They flipped back on this one. So it's a duo. But yeah, no, I love Sing Sing, so I'm very interested in checking out Jockey now.
Sing Sing is great. I own Sing. It's over my shoulder. I own Sing Sing.
And funny enough, the same thing happened to Sing Sing last year, where A24 had that batch of movies where they couldn't decide what to push, and Sing Sing kind of got left in the dust, and they put that one on the back shelf when that's probably the one they should have pushed.
It's kind of funny. It's like I don't want to sound like I'm just going to cape for movies on streaming, but it is funny. It's like this is the instance where it's like the big difference between Sing Sing and this is just on Netflix.
Yep.
This was just readily there. It was, it's got a name that I think like I'm sure people would click on, right? And it looks nice in the window when it auto plays maybe. And like, so again, me, I'm always going to, well, by the way, we got to talk about we're doing top 20 performances of the year. We have to talk about one news item about movie theaters. That just reminded me.
Oh.
I'm always going to say movie theaters, but this is one of those things. Like this ended up having a pretty large benefit, I think, of being on Netflix, where it's like that's the difference. Because Sing Sing, A24, they fumbled the ball big time with that movie. Crazy.
They're pushing like Civil War at first. They're pushing like I'm trying to think what else there was in that year.
Yeah, I forget what it was. They didn't. And the weird thing about Sing Sing was Sing Sing every year when the Oscars ends, I'm sure we all do this. You look at like what are the movies that next year, and Sing Sing was on there. Sing Sing was like a pre-release Oscar buzz, and they still somehow didn't find a way to land the plane with it. Yeah, strange. Very good Colman Domingo performance. Yeah.
It did get original screenplay though, right? Or adapted screenplay.
Yeah,
it got something. Yeah, I know it got some things, but not what it was supposed to originally. But anyway, Train Dreams, check it out. If they re-release this in theaters before the Oscars, if it gets to the Best Picture, I don't know if they will. I will absolutely go see this again. Just to see
if you're in New York, go to Paris Theater Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
It's there.
That is, big time.